Morning, Mr. Radio. Morning, little Cheerios. Morning, Sister Oreo. Didn't I tell you that everything here is just fine? Do, 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 woo, in my mind. Do, 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 Excuse me if I say my heart has found its way, searching high and low, and now at last I know. Morning, Mr. Shoeshine Man, shining bright in white and tan. Baby says she loves me, and needful I tell you that everything here is just fine. Ooh, in my mind. Good morning, folks. So 5150 here with your enhanced update, fellow billionaires. Good morning. How was your day yesterday? My day was great. All right. This is 5150 with your enhanced morning update for Wednesday, July 20th, 2020. So here we are, guys. That time that many of us have been waiting for, some as long as 40 years, talking about silver. All right. If you never heard of some of the most senior stackers in our community, I recommend you check these guys out. Now, examples of the stackers that have been in the game for the last 50 years include, of course, retired Congressman Ron Paul, who served in various positions of public office for about 36 years, from 1977 to 2013. All right. Now, Dr. Paul was always a champion for sound money, meaning gold and silver, calling members of the U.S. House Ways and Means Committee, as well as Federal Reserve Chairman, on the congressional carpet for fostering the printing of the dollar into oblivion. A champion since 1971 and a stacker, you can rest assured that Dr. Paul has a few gold Cougarans in his stack. Believe me. All right. So, yeah, Dr. Paul, a big time stacker, been doing it for about close to 50 years. Next up is Ted Butler, who is an independent silver market analyst, okay, who probably knows more about the gold and silver price manipulation scheme than any other single person alive. And he's been at this since about 1972. All right. Now, if you read material from his website, Butler Research LLC, that's Butler Research LLC, okay, it reveals that he is actually knee-deep head first in JP Morgan's steady, shady support of COMEX shenanigans. You know how the COMEX likes to manipulate. So yeah, Mr. Butler, he definitely has a tube or two of American Silver Eagles, okay, to say the least. All right. So he's a stacker. And then, of course, there is my favorite, the man every stacker wishes they had for grandpa and creator of the largest retail chain in Mexico, Hugo Salinas Price. Now, though Mr. Price is retired now, and I think his son runs operations, while Senor Hugo enjoys occasional speaking engagements, Hugo has been a stacker since 1964, especially in silver, and one would tend that he has nearly as many Libertads as Fred Garr. Good morning, Fred. So what do these distinguished gentlemen have to do with our subject today? All right, our subject today, we're going to start talking about our segment on wealth cycles, okay, where we explore the idea of having wealth run into you rather than you running after it. Think about that. Think about positioning yourself to where you're already set up for when wealth runs rampant, it runs right into you. You don't have to chase after it. Okay? All right. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to look into that. But first, a quick market brief. Let me go ahead and release these. Ooh, camera perspective. Release these St. George's. Now, I told you guys I bought some St. George's before here the other day, and now, which the lighting is really weird this morning, and now I have some more on the way. So in case you don't know, when you buy St. George's, if you buy a brick, which is 50 coins or more of these St. George's Slaves of the Dragon from the Russian Federation Bank, you get a brick, and they have genuine Russian writing on it, okay? Just like they have with the other acrylic coins. Thank you, Silver Game of Thrones, for giving me that term. Anyway, on to our show. So stock futures are kind of mixed this morning. Even though the massive stimulus packages, resulting from the European summit, they're having a lot of influence. They got a lot of great numbers coming out from all these American companies in the earnings, despite there being abysmal economic activity in the first and second quarters. I don't know how they're doing it. I think they're pumping the markets. Of course, it is pretty easy to produce great budgetary spreadsheets also when you cut 2/3 of your staff. And a lot of places are doing that. A lot of places are, cutting their staff or the staff's not coming back because they're getting all this, unemployment stimulus. But payroll is definitely the largest part of most businesses' overhead, after all. So it's easy to produce good numbers when you do that. So juggernauts like Coca-Cola, IBM, Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon have all contributed to the euphoria in stocks. But, they're mixed results. So the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Russell 2000 small caps are all mixed about a 0.25% up for the NASDAQ because I think it has like Amazon and Tesla inside of it. Okay. And then the other indexes are down a 0.25% in futures market trading right now. So it's just a mixed day for stocks, which tells me it's going to be a down day for stocks. I don't think they're going to be able to get enough good news. They've already kind of rode the euphoria of the European Union's, epic historic stimulus that's on the way. So I don't know how they recover from that. I don't think stocks will do well today, but metals today. Guys, I got to tell you, when I was at work yesterday, I took an occasional look at the futures markets, and at one point, silver had jumped up another 7% on top of the stellar 10% it had put on the last couple of days. And it had got up over $23 spot, and then of course it started cooling off and stuff. Because I don't even tell you, I can't tell you where these spikes are coming from. I don't know if it's because the COMEX ability or failure to deliver, okay, or if it's because of big players like Eric Sprott saying they're going to buy, $1.5 billion worth of silver, which is 75 million ounces if you haven't been counting. And so, I don't know what the pressure's coming from, the upward pressure's coming from, but I would have to think if there's going to be a pullback, it would have to be this Friday, okay? So keep that in mind. If you're thinking about spending some money, it wouldn't hurt you to wait till Friday to see if things are going to cool off a little bit. I could go either way. I like the excitement, but I also like to be able to buy some stuff. All right, so we're going to move right along. Gold and silver, they're continuing to rise this week, and they're resembling more of a rocket ship now than a freight train that we were talking about earlier this week, saying like it's slowly moving the station. Yeah, not so slow anymore. So even platinum seems to be tethered to the ship, having packed on a whopping 9% over the last 2 days, with more gains on the way today in platinum. If you guys are in platinum, Excelsior, because you are positioned well. I think platinum's going to do well in this initial burst, but I think it's going to cool off a bit while the other metals, the monetary metals, take off until platinum gets a nod from governments that it looks like it's going to be a good monetary metal. And then it'll start to move along with the increase in the rumblings about industrial, increases and stuff they're going to start doing. I just believe I touched that coin. I'm going to have to clean that. While platinum's doing pretty well, its industrial brother, palladium, which out of Russia, I think 40% of the palladium in the world comes out of Russia. So keep that in mind. Palladium seeks to return to its former glory of an all-time high of $2,781 spot. Now, that was back, I think, in probably January. And that's the price where I traded my palladium for silver at the top of the market. It's the only market I actually caught the top of. Usually I get within 80%, like with rhodium. But with palladium, I got the top. The day it went to that all-time high, I was calling Money Metals exchanging my palladium for silver. Worked out really well. All right. So the question is this. Can precious metals continue ripping the faces off of markets, burnt bears' butts? So if you don't know what a bear is, a market bear, so market bears, we say they get their butts burned off. Market bears, they are the opposite of market bulls. And market bulls is what I am. I'm a silver market bull. I'm probably the most bullish silver market bull there is, meaning that I expect extraordinary things out of silver and probably no limit to its ability to provide financial prosperity. So I'm one of the biggest bulls out there, but there's a lot of silver market bears out there that believe that silver is going to continue to trundle along like it has the last 50 years. I think that's over. All right. So anyway, while you were sleeping, okay, silver continued smashing record after record. When I was at work, I was watching until I finally gave up last night after getting tired of watching. I just finally gave up and I passed out late last night. Now, on the retail side of things, I did find some rather nice 1/10 ounce silver buffalo rounds at Money Metals Exchange for just under $3.50 a piece. Now, did you catch that? On Money Metals Exchange, they've got 1/10 ounce silver buffalo rounds at Money Metals Exchange for just under $3.50 a piece. Okay. Of course, it's volume pricing. Now, while you might think that's too high a premium, because I hear that a lot lately, too high a premium for 10th ounce rounds, because that would be a premium of about what? About 12 bucks, 13 bucks, but it's $1.20 on each coin. While you think it's too high a premium, I ask you again to please consider the environment that we're in. Okay? You see the action in silver right now. You see how crazy it's getting, right? And that I plan to actually buy 1,000 of them later this morning at Money Metals Exchange. 1/10 ounce Buffalo silver rounds. I'm going to buy 1,000 of those if they still have them in inventory this morning when I get back in right before we do the giveaway. If you guys haven't been following that giveaway, I did a random giveaway. It's a random giveaway. Yes, we did a random giveaway yesterday for our 1,600 subscribers. We passed that mark yesterday, and today, this afternoon, I am going to run the algorithm and run the random picker and pick a random winner. Okay, so be there for that. All right. But anyway, so yes, I plan to buy a brick of those 1/10 ounce silver Buffalo rounds from Money Metals Exchange today when I get back from my driving job before I start my cleaning job. All right. So, I would seriously love, I mean, I really do. I love the Buffalo Tenthers. For some reason, they have a higher finish on them. They just look better and stuff. And so that's going to be my move today, my play today. Yes, I'm using my credit card. I don't have the money, but you know what? Sorry, this will probably be one of the last plays I make in the next few weeks, depending on what the markets do in silver and stuff. So let's see if we can get a better picture of that there. Yeah, so you can see, guys, you can see the coins down in there inside this brick, the St. George coins inside this brick. You can see those down there. All right. Now, back to the action, okay? The excitement continues this week, especially in silver, as it heads toward $23, okay? It did break $23 last night, but as it heads to $23 today, we're going to watch it continue to trade, and it's trading right now, I think, at about $22.68, which is not bad, and another record broken from yesterday. So gold is, again, the laggard, quote unquote, all right? Gold is the laggard at only about $1,860, okay? And it's up, probably about, I'm going to say almost a full percent, so 0.8% gold is. And it's funny because 2 months ago, we would have killed to see that kind of momentum in gold. Just 2 months ago, we would have killed to see that kind of momentum in gold. But 'tis but a sideshow nowadays, just that little bit of gains in gold, but there'll be better ones later. Okay, so another positive trend in this new metals market rally, by the way, is the rising tides effect. And I call this the rising tides effect, meaning that while silver's strength, the rise it has and all this strength it has is like Captain Marvel and Thor's love child. I mean, it's just unstoppable at this point. The strength in silver is enhanced even further by a spike in the euro, okay, which is happening today. It's continuing. I think we're at a 115 handle in the euro, and a dip in the dollar index, which is on its way to 94, which in currencies is a very big deal. It's a very big move, okay? A 94 handle, and asset gains across the commodities board, especially metals. So when you see, metals are mixed, that means that, the COMEX and the LMBA. The COMEX, of course, is the Commodities Exchange that is run by the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and the LMBA, or LBMA, which is the London Bullion Market Association, okay, Marketers Association. They are out of London. They have what's called the gold fix. They fix the gold price. The COMEX fixes the silver price and does some assistance with the gold price. They're not supposed to fix anything. They're supposed to let these metals trade freely, but, they're out there doing the dirty work. All right, but when you see commodities run wild across the board, and I'm talking all of the main metals, gold, silver, copper, palladium, platinum, and rhodium running, in tandem, that means that the COMEX and the LBMA, they're losing their grip on their frothy derivatives market. Remember, we were talking about the derivatives market with that inverse triangle. Which brings us back to our topic of commodities wealth cycles, guys, okay, specifically in the metals. Good morning, Jesus. How are you? Oh, walking across the water. Yeah, let's turn that over, see what happens. Never mind. I like the other side better. Okay. Wealth cycles when it comes to metals, okay? Precious metals and base metals. Okay, so let's go back to our sound money predecessors when they entered the stacking world. So back when these guys entered the stacking world, we're talking about Dr. Ron Paul, who's now a retired congressman. We're talking about Hugo Salinas Price, who was the owner of Electra, which is the largest retail chain in Mexico. All right, and he's a billionaire. Hugo Salinas Price. He's got some articles online if you want to check them out. Hugo Salinas Price. And of course, I'm Ted Butler, who has been a silver market analyst forever. All right. But back when our sound money predecessors that we were talking about earlier entered the stacking world, you would get an ounce of gold for $35 spot back in 1970, I think. And an ounce of silver for $4 spot, probably even less. Not sure. But fast forward to today, when an ounce of silver is now approaching that of the old gold price, the old $35 gold price. And gold is fast on its way to becoming unaffordium, if you get my drift. All right. I mean, once we get to $2,000 spot and you have $400 premiums, who's going to want to buy gold? I mean, we're regular people. We're not like these guys I'm talking about. We're not billionaires, millionaires. We're not even thousandaires. All right. So we're not going to be chasing after gold, in any heavy way at those prices, $2,400, an ounce, once we get to that $2,000 spot price. All right. So these stackers, from yesteryear, they were probably, I'd say they were able to actually steal these metals for almost free when adjusted for inflation back then. I mean, yeah, it wasn't easy to cobble together $35 or maybe even $4 back in 1970, but it was a lot easier than what you have to put together now to buy gold and questionably about silver. I think silver's a much better deal than back then. But even then, it was pretty easy to get if you were of the mind to get it. A lot of people weren't of the mind to get it. So these guys have been in the markets. They've been waiting for silver and gold to take off. Well, gold, they kind of made out from gold already, but they're waiting for silver to take off still. These guys have been waiting for 40, almost 50 years. They're still around and they still have their stacks and they're still waiting for these numbers that they know silver can pull off. Okay. So you see now, here's the trade-off. If they had been in oil back then as their investment choice, they could have been rolling amounts of cash then. But they weren't. They were a little too late for the oil boom, the last oil boom that happened during the 50s and 60s when Detroit got hot and cars became like the thing. And since they missed the last top of that oil wealth cycle, they just missed it. That's it. They didn't catch it, but coming into 1970, they chose to pile into the new entry-level asset class, which was precious metals at that time. Some of them were able to see what was going to happen with that. And they've been riding it all the way up since, but they know that the real gains have not got here yet. Okay? But good grief. I mean, think of the ravages, of the derivatives and manipulation right now that's happened with silver. They've been watching and they've been witnessing that for 40 to 50 years, but they're here. They made it. These old boys, they're so weighed down with their decades of furious stacking that the next 10 generations in their families are set. Their families are set. If we start to head into these big numbers in the silver, especially. So, which brings me to my greater point. A lot of you newer stackers out there, I'm talking about the ones that have less than a year in the game. Okay, I'm hearing a lot of complaints on my comment board about not having enough time to stack and that prices should be held down longer. Well, I hate to give you some tough love, but I'm going to say this. You've missed the biggest opportunities to accumulate in the silver market, but you haven't missed the biggest opportunities to gain. Okay, get that reflection fixed there. All right. But yeah, especially with silver, and you'll likely have to adopt at some point a gold style method of purchasing here to get silver soon because the silver price, like we were talking about, this week, is getting very exciting and it is rocketing out of the train station instead of taking a train to get my method. All right. But, figure out how you're going to purchase silver, but then understand that this really wasn't your wealth cycle to begin with. If you started stacking this year, this really wasn't your wealth cycle to begin with. There's been plenty of wealth cycles over the years: oil, precious metals, real estate, stocks. All right. And this one here is the end of the metals bear market, and we're heading into the bull market. So this really wasn't your wealth cycle. Even though you're in it, you can have some of it, but you're not going to get very much of it. The ones that are going to benefit the most are the ones that have been in it the longest. That's just the way the game goes. I'm sorry. It's just the law of averages. Now, I say that to say this. What if the next one was your wealth cycle? What if the next wealth cycle, okay, was right around the corner, a fresh new market, okay? Let's fix the buffalo there. A fresh new market was right around the corner, the next wealth cycle. Wow, that's a lot of reflection. All right. And you were starting out on the ground floor. Okay? You could build an insanely large stack And this new stack would give you and your descendants the life of Riley for generations to come. All right, I think you know where I'm going with this. What if the price of admission was just $1 per round? Okay, that's right, you guessed it. We're talking about copper. Okay, we're talking about copper. Well, those are never going to go back. All right, look, remember what I said about bullion grade copper being the next big thing? Okay, along with other base metals, except the bullion grade copper, and maybe even bullion grade copper in a capsule. Ooh, doesn't that look rich and nice? Look at that. Okay. What if copper right now was the gold of the upcoming base metal age? Now, I call it the base metal age, which is just going to be the new sci-fi industrial age. But with all the projected infrastructure revamps around the globe, and heaven forbid, upcoming wars, then multiple, insatiable global infrastructure demands while simultaneously trying to meet unexpected monetary and stacker demand, the likes which have never been seen, is going to really, really affect the price of copper. This stuff is going to happen. It's an inevitability. It is part of our human nature, it's part of our monetary nature and our financial nature. Copper will be called to serve in ways that is going to extend its ability to be mined. All right. And right now, nobody's really paying attention. Well, some people, right? But people are just not, not into it because they're focused on, the more brighter, offerings out there. All right. So look here. We can help create that demand, by the way. There are experts amongst our subscribers. Good morning, Scrapper. How are you? All right, that can salvage industrial grade copper with relative ease. Sure, he has the skill to do that. But for us unskilled, uneducated stackers, or just plain lazy stackers, in my case, I'm just lazy. That's why silver is my favorite investment, because it's the lazy investment. There's minute-struck cheap copper rounds available at nearly every retailer out there. Okay. Every retailer out there has them anywhere from 69 cents at Golden State Mint for cold copper rounds. Thanks for that, Creo. Made sure you found out those were cold. That's why they're so cheap. But it's weight, all right? Just like silver is weight when you buy, unglamorous silver, all right? But even a closer look reveals that retailers are selling quarter-ounce rounds right now. They have those in the tubes right now. You can get a tube of these for under $10. These are 20 quarter-ounce rounds. I got these from AppMex, and they come in their tube, and they're, less than $10, $8.99, I think. All right. Now, why would mints feel compelled to do that? Okay. Why mint quarter-ounce copper rounds when you can get one for $1? What kind of was that? They're going to offer any kind of return later on? Well, yes, the payday is down the road. All right. But if you don't understand why they would mint quarter-ounce copper rounds, just try buying a roll of pre-1982 pennies, and you'll understand right away. All right. Now, I know you're thinking, oh, well, there he goes again. Silver 5150 has gone off the cliff. Yes. Thank you, Gipper. Yes, I am crazy, but I'm crazy like a fox. Okay? I mean, feel free to cry foul if you missed out on silver's last recent accumulation phase. I get it. All right? I get it, and I feel for you, but it just wasn't your wealth cycle. All right? I love you guys, and I'm going to be doing giveaways, and maybe you can get some silver from me. But if you're under a year or under 6 months coming into this thing, it just wasn't your time. All right? But I'm telling you, this is not even over. This is not even close. It's not over. The whole idea of getting wealthy from, say, metals, in this particular case, base metals, all right, in some precious metals. All right. I get it if you missed it, and I'm sorry. But just like gold is the top wealth cycle for Ron Paul and his bunch right now, all right, and silver's the top wealth cycle for, say, my bunch, okay, from Uncle Sal on down to me. All right. Those of us that have been in from 5 to 15 years, what I'm talking about, silver's that for us, but copper can be yours. If you're brand new to stacking, copper can be your new wealth cycle. All right. Starting right now. Turn up your nose all you want. Just kind of look away and think you're too good. But here's what I'm doing. This is 360 ounces of bullion grade copper. All right. 360 ounces in the capsules, okay? Now, I traded with the broker. Get ready. 2 10th ounce South Korean Comsco gold rounds in assay. So at the time, let's go ahead and do the math on this. All right, so I gave him 2 of these. He gave me this bucket of coins. Now, I put them in the capsules myself. The capsules were 50 cents a piece. I think it was worth it. All right, but That was the exchange me and a broker did back when he was trying to create room in his vault, and I totally understand. I was able to help him because he wanted some more gold, I wanted some more copper, so I made the trade. At the time, a few months ago, this was the equivalent of $180 a piece. These gold rounds, and these are dollar a piece, $360 worth. $360 worth at the time. Now, of course, these are worth a lot more. Now, so he's got the better end of the deal right now, but I'm waiting for a later payday, which I think is going to be much better. Okay, as a result, this is a choice I made. I'm taking out future value, trying to steal future value from a speculation. This is a speculation on my part. Okay, there's no guarantee it's going to work out. But I can tell you right now, if I decide to piece these off, even right now, I bet you I can come out ahead with a profit if I want to go through the trouble of shipping and all that stuff. But I'm not doing that. I'm waiting for the industrial age to head up this way. Now, so yeah, I ain't gonna lie. The silver train is leaving the station. All right, guys, the silver train is leaving the station. But the copper train hasn't even been built yet. The copper train is still in manufacturing. The copper train has not even been built yet. Silver train's leaving the station. The copper train hasn't even been built yet. So what do you think minted bullion grade copper will do when silver reaches $700 in a couple of days? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Silver's not going to reach $700 in a couple of days, maybe a year. Okay? But regardless, by all means, please stack all the silver you can right now because $700 silver is coming. And if you paid $70 for silver even, somehow, some way for an ounce of silver, you're not going to feel disappointed or cheated. All right? So go ahead and please stack all the silver you can before it gets out of reach. Then instead of getting mad, get more. Okay? MOAR, more bullion grade copper. And to set you and your families up for the new sci-fi industrial age. It's coming. Okay? Which will actually have silver and copper. Okay? Skipping arm in arm down the metal brick road. Silver and copper together down the metal brick road. Now, these are the wealth cycles, and they never end, okay? Who knows what's going to be after copper? It could be nickel. It could be oil. It could be real estate. It could be some kind of paper financial instruments. But right now, the next two wealth cycles, I think, are going to be precious metals that are happening right now, and base metals is going to follow after that because they're hard assets. And we're going to have a long hard asset period, okay? All right. So, wealth cycles, they never end. They just start over and over, and sometimes they overlap, like silver and copper are going to do, okay? So there's always opportunity, okay? Don't feel discouraged because you're not, where a lot of us older stackers are. I'm not where Ron Paul, Hugo Salinas Price, or Ted Butler is, but I don't resent that. I mean, sure, I'd love to have tons of silver like Mike Maloney, but I don't have it, and that's okay. I've got enough. Trust me. 10 ounces to your name. I'm not joking. You wait till the dollar starts to head down to the 30s and the 20s. Those handles. You'll see. You'll see. I'm talking right now, but you'll see. All right. So that's it for today, guys. I'm Copper 5150. I'm kidding. I'm already planning my next move subconsciously. I'm going to buy more copper, by the way. I am going to buy a lot more copper. And the great thing about copper is you don't have to keep it in a vault. You can keep the copper out because nobody cares. It's too much work. All right, it's too much work, and it doesn't need to be that secure. And back when silver was $4 an ounce, you best believe that a lot of these longtime stackers were not keeping their silver in vaults. They were keeping their gold in vaults. But, silver back then was too cheap to worry about it. Copper right now is too cheap to worry about keeping in vaults or in safe rings like that. You can just keep it out in a box somewhere. All right, so you don't have to worry about that. But anyway, I'm Silver 5150 telling you that your stack is not whack, okay? And that just 10 ounces to your name keeps you 99% ahead of the game. Now think about what I said. It sounds corny as heck, but so did buying Bitcoin back in June of 2011 when silver was 35 bucks spots. 2011 silver was 35 bucks and Bitcoin was $1 at that time. Okay, so remember, wealth cycles allow wealth to run into you rather than you running into it. So I'll either catch you guys today in a random post, depending on how crazy the market gets, or at the morning update tomorrow. Who knows? And as Uncle Sal says, I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to all my subscribers and ask that you please like, share, and comment. I'm probably going to get in trouble for that. But what can I say? I like the guy. Good morning, Uncle Sal. Good morning. All right. Later, folks.